Diego is CEO of Banter, and Banter is a rocket space company.
That is true, and rocket space is awesome. Thanks. Let me cable. Okay. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Good? Yeah? Kind of? Okay. So my name is Diego. I'm the CEO of Banter. And before I start, I'm going to ask just very quickly 3 quick questions. So who here likes to go to happy hours? Yeah? What about going to eat at food trucks? Yeah? What about bars with live music? Yeah? Okay. Well, so for those of you who raised your hands, if you're like me, when you want to find these types of events, you usually most likely might just go to the place you know that has them. Maybe a friend of yours might invite you to some of these places. But ultimately, there's no easy way to know in real time where these things are going on. So our mission at Banter is to basically do to the local recreation and nightlife scene what Waze did to traffic. So let me explain that a little bit. So there's layers of content, right? So Google is amazing at letting you know where things are. You Google bars and you find all the nearby bars, their addresses, their hours, their phone numbers, right? Then you have the second layer of content, more detailed information, ratings, reviews that you get from Yelp and Foursquare. Now at Banter, we're providing this third new layer of information, which is dynamic, real-time, changes on a day-to-day basis, which you can't really find on something like Yelp, Foursquare, or Google. So basically, we're in the process of developing our first version of Banter, which we're hoping to launch in a couple of weeks. Right now, I'm going to give you guys a demo of our private beta, which we right now have a few users testing. And so this first version of Banter is specifically and deliberately focused. We're providing content around 3 specific use cases. And guess what? Live music, happy hours, and food trucks. Why 3 use cases? Well, because we want people to when they download the app, know why they're downloading it, because they want to go to a happy hour, because it's lunch on a Wednesday afternoon and they want to go to a food truck. So they'll know that Banter will give them exactly this information on any given day whenever they open up the app. They open up the app, they find what they want. Next time they want the same thing, they'll open it up and use it again. Okay, make sense? So before I go into the demo itself, let me just show you guys these screenshots that I actually took today, just to kind of illustrate a little bit of how the content flows on Banter on any given day. And so the different icons, not sure how easy it is for you guys to see, but represent different activities. So little martini thing for happy hours, the little truck for a food truck, microphone for live music, and then the shading indicates whether something is kind of currently active, as in now, or will happen later today. It hasn't started, but will occur today, right? And as you can see, as I kind of took these screenshots earlier from our awesome Rocket Space office, we could see that around noon, there were a bunch of food trucks, and then they all left after lunch, and then happy hours starting, okay? So that's kind of how you see the flow of the content progress in real time as time goes on. Now, let me go into the demo. Let's see, I'm connecting my phone to the laptop. There we go. Okay, awesome technology. So basically, okay, so now it's 8:20. Okay, most of the happy hours are over, and let's see, but you can still see there's still stuff going on in San Francisco. Obviously not as much as you saw by the screenshots that was going on earlier, but you can still see, like, there's happy hour at Harlot, there's another happy hour at this place called Plouf, and over in North Beach, where I live, which is awesome, there's something at Taupe. So you can really see stuff that's going on right now. You can say, click on the thing to get more information around the address, the ratings on Yelp, phone number, etc. And say you want to filter. You can do that too. So say I only want to go see live music. I press the filter button. You can just kind of see those places. And we also have a list view, so you can more easily browse through all the type of content in a more easy way until you find kind of basically what you're looking for. So say I like this happy hour at Plouf. It goes until 10 p.m., so this thing will be over, so I can just go straight there after this is over. Say I want to invite my couple of friends, so I'm going to do the left-hand typing thing that Kevin did. Let's see if it works. I'm inviting my friend JP and my friend Mike. Let's see, and I basically just add them. I press the send button. I get this pre-populated text message with all the information they're going to want about this specific thing I liked. I just send it over, and boom, they got the text message with a link to the app. And so these are basically the core functionalities of this first version of Banter, which I kind of just demoed in this quick 5 minutes. But I want to emphasize that for us, this is just the beginning. So we're very excited to have this kind of private beta right now, which we're testing with over 24 users. We're getting ready to make this public in about a couple of weeks. But we're also already starting to develop more content, more features for the subsequent versions of Banter. So we're very excited, and I'm obviously happy to answer any questions you guys might have, because I see my time is over. So thank you. Hope you guys enjoy Banter.
I am stepping over here because I've been informed that I need to be closer to the person presenting. That's, yes, because of the camera. So my initial question to you is, why would someone use you over Swarm?
Well, they're very different products. Swarm lets you know where your friends are, first and foremost. That's a social network, and you're able to find where your friends are. We're venue-oriented, so we're basically giving you information around the places nearby, around these specific activities that, to be honest, Swarm wouldn't give you, around happy hours, around food trucks, so on and so forth. And also, just kind of as a side thing that I'm sure it might come later anyway, but right now our content, we're all managing it internally. We realize that crowdsourcing is not easy to start with, which is why a lot of kind of similar applications have failed to be successful. So we believe that managing and curating the right amount of content will be very, very effective for our early adopters to find this useful. Whereas something like, Swarm had Foursquare, obviously, they had a bunch of users, but starting as a social crowdsourced network isn't really good to launch. So, I guess to answer your first question, we are very, very different from a value perspective, and then our strategy of content is also very different.
I guess I'm a little bit confused because I would want to know where my friends are going to see if it's like awesome.
Well, so that's actually so interesting. So that when I talked about how we're adding more content, that's actually our next milestone, which we aim to have by the end of the year. Our next, and we realize it's going to be a challenge, but we have a kind of a roadmap to get there, is we're actually going to aim to have real-time occupancy of bars, of say the 20 to 40 bars in San Francisco.
How are you going to do that?
So it's interesting. No, that's creepy.
There was another app, and I don't remember the name of it, that would tell you the ratio of men to women in a bar.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Based on the cameras. I thought it was creepy too, but I know people wanted that information.
No, so people do care about how busy a bar is in real time. That's very important for you to know where you want to go. Ultimately, that's also very different than knowing where your friends are, because you might want to go to a bar if you're with your friends right now and you know that this bar is busy. Even if no friends of yours are there, you might want to go, right? So what we're doing, and as you asked, or not so busy.
Maybe you want to go to a bar that's not packed.
Exactly. So we're giving the information to the users, and then based on what they want to do, they'll use that to decide kind of where to go, right? And so to ask the specific question of how we're actually getting the content, as I mentioned, right now we're not starting crowdsourced. We understand how to get the right type and quantity of content so that when a user downloads the app, it's useful. So we're relying on kind of a team of volunteers, including ourselves, to provide this content when we launch it. And then once we get users, we'll enable crowdsourcing ability so that more people, the user base, the Banter enthusiasts, can also provide and contribute to the content.
Cool. All right. Audience. Who back there?
How are you going to get from zero to crowdsourced? You're going to need a network effect for this to work. How are you going to make that happen? What's your go-to-market strategy?
Sure. So we're launching only in San Francisco. That's where we're going to launch our first version and all of our content. And our growth strategy, I guess, has different steps. I'll focus on one. So one is we want to make sure that the people who get and download the app know what they're doing it for. We're doing very targeted marketing, including things like going to off-the-grid events, handing out flyers because people there like food trucks. Going to happy hours, handing out flyers because people there like happy hours. And then we're also enabling things like what I showed about the invite friends thing to help the app itself also grow viral and help people share the app with their friends. We don't think an invite friends button to the app is going to work. We want people to invite their friends to the specific things they're going to go to. We're trying to hijack that behavior that they would do normally through a separate text message, just do it through the app, right? And so that's kind of the first milestone, get an engaged and sizable user base. Now, once we get that user base, we reach out back to the businesses themselves that are already getting content from, and basically incentivize them to start also contributing content by additional features, additional sources and types of content that they can provide that right now is more limited when we do it. So that's kind of the milestone by milestone steps that we're following. if that makes sense.
Somebody give this woman a microphone.
Well, I guess for that specific reason, we want to become a brand. We're not just an application. We're not something that we just want people to, I don't know, use us every now and then. We really want to create this kind of movement to really providing real-time information. Like I said, we want to become the Waze for nightlife and recreation. Ultimately, Banter, I mean, I don't know how familiar the word is. I'm from Mexico. English is my second language, but I've been here for a while. Banter is kind of like it provides this idea of having fun with friends, enjoying each other's company, just being active, not spending time on Facebook. No, going out, having fun, so on and so forth. And the penguin, well, just because it's awesome, I guess.
All right, so right here in the middle, straight ahead. Hey, how you doing? All right, so one question: you say you can handle dynamic data such as like music events and things like that. But what if there was, this is pretty hypothetical, but a pop-up music event just happened in a park? Can your app handle that, or does it only work for established venues?
So right now, given that we're doing all the content internally, we're basically doing the 80-20 rule, right? So we're not guaranteeing that we're going to have everything going on in San Francisco. That's not how we're starting. That will be possible once we enable crowdsourcing. Initially, we're basically gathering all the information we can that we can kind of program into our database, say the 400, 500 bars that have a happy hour on a Tuesday or on a Thursday, or they don't have it every day, but they have it, say, once a week. We recognize that, program it into our database, and then auto-populate it. And so similar thing for live performances. We see all these bars and all these venues. They have their monthly calendars. All public information. We put it in our database and then present it onto the app in real time.
All right, one more question. Quick one.
So being a musician and performing at happy hours and lover of food trucks, just your beta version doesn't show like if there's going to be potential for all three at one point, for an example. So that's something that's interesting, and I think the user-generated thing, like underground parties, or underground, things like that would also be like a private kind of thing. Hey, are you in the know for this particular event, after hour kind of thing?
Yeah, so I guess I'll answer the question this way. So we have a pipeline of new features and stuff we want to work on, right? And we're kind of getting our user base to kind of point the way of what we want to do. If I understood your question correctly, so I guess we specifically chose these three types of activities because our users and the people we talked to and the people we surveyed told us that these activities are things they do frequently, they love them, and they can't really find this information anywhere. And then we do want to enable potentially, I mean, we have it in a roadmap, we haven't really prioritized it, the ability to kind of put semi-private or private stuff that only maybe your social network might be able to see, but it's still in real time. So there's obviously a wide variety of stuff we could do. We're kind of prioritizing based on user feedback, people we survey, focus groups, etc.
All right, Diego, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Banter.